What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunch with the Clydesdale. Not eating alone today. I get to sit at the cool kids table with Cory Leonard.
If you sitting at the cool kids table, you are not sitting with me. I can promise you that much.
I owe a couple yo's to Kenneth, Jeffrey, Jody. What's going on, guys? Yo, 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 yo.
So many yo's.
So many yo's. So it's been a light day in like news just in general. So yeah. I thought, why not just I have to wait like about another minute before I call the show what it really is, but to shoot the breeze day with my friend Cory.
I didn't know we had a time limit on that. That's insane.
You can't cuss within the first, I don't know, 4 minutes. I've heard like all over the map.
Right.
Where you get demonetized.
Taylor Self probably knows down to the second, if we had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. So can't call the show what we really like to call it. And then on the thumbnail, I had to use the like the ampersand and the percent sign and
100%
to get it in, or I get demonetized. The goofy, it's okay after that time to curse as much as you want. You don't get demonetized, but in the first couple minutes, you cannot.
You gotta start off on the right path, and then after a while, you can do whatever the hell you want. That's all right. I like that.
It's like parenting, right? As long as we get them to like, 16, 17, 18, then it's not our problem anymore.
That's it. And you wrap. No, you're fine. You can move on. You can navigate all this stuff. Oh.
So we got a little Barry McCockiner here. We got some Holly. There we go. Getting them in here. Yeah, Barry McCockiner says Jack Farlow's out. That's what I was actually staring at when you thought my screen was frozen before we went on. And in his statement, he said that he's doing this to concentrate on the WFP because of his college schedule and the pressures of all of that. Come on. Now we're getting past like.
That's a reach. I mean, come on, dude.
Like I was giving Emma the benefit of the doubt on the back injury and needs to heal up, and the WFP starts later, even though it was a little sus.
Right.
I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Now her beau goes in, says he can't do it because of the stress of the college. And if he was due to graduate a year ago, because I've had him on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
And what makes this even more interesting is he's not even a signed athlete.
So
he's focusing on the WFP as a challenger.
I got to qualify for it.
So that means he has to do 2 qualifiers, 2 tour events, and hopefully make the finals. That's a much more rigorous schedule than a game.
You got to, instead of doing a workout a week for 3 weeks and then seeing where you fall out after that. And he is a high level. Like there's a very good possibility.
He's a games athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeffrey Birchfield. Yes. Emma is signed.
Also, isn't he? All these people that are out that are already listed at like or going to compete at Mayhem, and now they're saying, "Well, I'm just focusing on WFP. I'm not actually doing the Open." Well, in that case, you should get uninvited to Mayhem because you're taking up space that somebody else could be using to actually try to qualify for the games.
So it's an independent event. So I'm going to disagree with you on this. It's an independent event because CrossFit is not putting their hands in these cookie jars of all these events. They're just qualifying events for their games.
Exactly. So if you're not doing the Open,
who doesn't go, Mayhem can invite whoever they want.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that if that's what I'm not talking about Mayhem on inviting them. Mayhem invite whoever the hell they want. But if I'm Jack Farlow and I'm saying, well, I'm not competing in the Open. I'm not trying to make the games. Well, then you should remove yourself from the the competition where the people that actually are going is, because if you're focusing on the WFP, then you don't need to be doing mayhem. You need to be focusing on the WFP and get ready for that and trying to graduate school. I'm very, very fired up about that concept, and it has no effect on me whatsoever.
So these in-person semifinal events are so confusing to me because truly they are their own entities. It is like almost like an off-season event.
Yeah.
Other than now, top 2 get to go to the games. Right. So if he wants to go do it. But it just makes it more confusing as a fan to now like try to figure out, of these people that are competing, who is in and who is out, who's already got a qualifying spot. Like, I really did like that the Syndicate Crown has made a rule that if you have already qualified for the CrossFit Games, you are getting your invitation revoked.
Yes.
So we know the people competing at Syndicate are all competing for a spot at the games.
100%. I am way that's awesome. Good on Wilson for that. Like, hey, bro, we only want people here who's actually trying to make the games.
And their list of invitees comes from the Open and the online affiliate semifinal. So you know that they're in on the season from the list they're grabbing.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. Mayhem is going to be a cluster, and they're just going to put on an event, and people are going to win, and maybe they get us.
It reminds me of
the game spot at that point, but now it's going to be who's in and who's out.
Yes. It reminds me of the first year with sanctionals, whenever people were trying to figure out how they actually got to the games, because it was top whatever. Well, then I won this sanctional, so I didn't have to worry about being top whatever. And then I won the Open, and then I also won this competition. Like, it was convoluted. And I feel like that's kind of,
it was consistently convoluted.
Fair.
Now we've got Wadland inviting 80 athletes. We've got,
bro,
and they have to have like 10 French. They have to have 20 European, and then the rest are open to the world. You got Africa that's only inviting people from Africa.
And Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Well, she lives in Dubai-ish.
She's in the UAE. She's technically in the UAE, but the people who are going and like supporting that competition and whatnot, or from the post I saw this morning anyway, are losing their ever-loving minds because she's being invited, even though she is.
Well,
she lives in the UAE. Like,
they always are losing their mind because Michelle Basnet made everybody lose their mind.
Yeah.
She has dual citizenship. She chose to compete in Africa.
Yeah. Hey, bro, if I had dual citizenship, I would compete in Africa. Like, and it mattered. Like, that would be the easiest route, the path of least resistance. Absolutely. Sign me up.
But to your point, we don't know any of the rules of any. It's so convoluted. Every in-person semi is going to be different.
Absolutely.
Where at least in the sanctional season, all the rules were the same. It was just confusing, but it was the same confusion. Once you figured out the Rubik's Cube, you could figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I'll agree to that for sure. Absolutely sure.
But not to bury the headline, Jack Farlow is out due to a busy schedule of college, and he is focusing on his life as a challenger in the WFB.
WTF or whatever it's called. Yeah. Good luck to him. I'm just saying, just say my girlfriend said no. That's all you got to do, bro. I'm just throwing that out there. Look, Birch knows.
Yep.
Oh.
And like what Jay Birch says here, you have to do the Open to qualify for most of these invitationals. Most.
But not all.
But not
invitational,
all.
Yeah. Invitational being the key word there.
Yeah. So it is crazy. PK wants to know what's for lunch. My wife is actually back to work, but she's on lunch right now cooking. We have some lean ground beef burgers being made. I don't know what she's making for a side, but excited to throw some of that in my chomper when I'm done with this
Chicken
show.
and rice. Same thing as for lunch pretty much every day of the week. Chicken and rice. Easy peasy. I can eat the same shit over and over and over again. It doesn't bother me at this point.
Jody says, bye-bye, Farlow.
I don't understand the big, long, drawn out, I'm out, whatever, I'm doing this, I'm doing that post. I don't get it. It's beyond my level of comprehension. I just don't understand that. Well, I'm focusing on school this year and I'm going to do the WF. Okay, cool. You didn't have to say all that. Like, you could have just did that later on and people would have figured it out all by themselves. I think they're so accustomed to people like giving them attention for all intents and purposes. Like, that's just another way for them to get attention. Does that make sense? Like, that's what it seems like to me.
Andrew says CrossFit should make a rule. You have to do the open in order to qualify for the games. You do. And
I thought you did. Yeah, I thought you had to sign up for the open, right?
You have to be in the open to qualify for the games, but you don't have to do the open to go to these events.
No,
that's what
you
we're
can just
talking
go.
about.
You can go win money. Yeah. So in theory, Jack Farlow could go win the Mayhem Classic. I think he's going to, and then not go to the games. Like, the second place person would get the invite, and that's why I like what Wilson and them is doing. Where no, you only come.
You
here
can do it for a cash grab.
Yeah, 100%. Which, hey, do you think? I just think it's kind of messed up if that's in fact what you're doing. All the OG posts that have been coming up, like the Scott Panchik and Rich and Ben Smith, like all those hype reels that didn't make him, talking about I'm in for the open. Like, I get fired up for that kind of stuff because those dudes know what it actually means, like for the community, for the competition aspect of it and whatnot. And then these younger cats who all they know is the sport. The people who maybe haven't really ever been in an affiliate before. And they're just like, I'm just trying to win money. I think Matt Fraser was like that. I still do. Because once he figured out that if you go look at listen to his story, once he figured out you could make money doing it, that's what he started doing.
Yeah.
And focused in on it. He happened to be the best in the world at it. I say happened to be. I mean, he worked his ass off for it, no question about it. But that's where he ended up was doing it because he wanted to get a payday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Burge. Yes. Also, Jeff. Also, Bridges. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, so I'm not like a rah guy that CrossFit owes this or you owe CrossFit that or anything like that. But like this whole, I'm really having a tough time with this season and as a whole. And I'll put it as simply as I can. I'm a Christian man. Forgiveness is one thing that is one of the hardest things in the world to do, but it's something that I am supposed to do. Right. I have been hard on CrossFit in the way they structure their season, in the way they do things, in the way they communicate things for years. But every year I kept signing up for the open, and every year I joined my community to do these events. There was a tragic event. Things weren't handled exactly the way they should have been. People have admitted that. I got to forgive and hope that change is made.
Well, here's the thing. If you want change, leaving is not going to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, you can complain about, you can be at your house with a sink full of dishes and just sit there like, oh, these dishes are so dirty. But if you leave the house, they're going to be sitting there just as dirty as they were before. Like, if you want change, you have to work towards change. That's a thing. You want something, you can't demand it. And then when you don't get it, just say, well, then I'm just leaving. Like, that's not how adult relationships work. much less how stuff like what we have works. I agree completely. There's been a whole gang of stuff that since it'll be 8 years in May that I've been doing CrossFit that I have seen and I was like, that doesn't make any sense, or I don't like, or whatever. But I didn't just go, well, I don't like that one thing, regardless of what it was. I'm done. That's insane. Like, that's what crazy people do.
Jay Birch says, how many times though there is a limit? The Bible says there is no limit. And then he says change doesn't happen passively. I agree. But I think that there was an event that happened that impacted several lives. And yes, it impacted these athletes, and they're communicating that it happened that way. But we're not giving CrossFit the thought or the processing that may have impacted them in a similar way.
Yeah.
And so, like I said yesterday, and I've gotten a comment that said I was misinformed. The CrossFit Athlete Council is doing more in the first few months of existence than any other athlete council they've ever put together. And I know that CrossFit is at fault for some of that not working in the past. But something happened 9 months ago that makes it that they need this to happen and work now. So I'm seeing change. And I'm cautiously optimistic. I am,
as you should be.
I'm optimistic by nature, but it doesn't mean that I just am overly exuberant that they've changed and things are going to be different. No, I'm going into this with some caution and hopeful that we get some change.
Same.
And they have a competitor for the first time that's trying to do something similar to what they're doing. And maybe that pushes them to change.
100%, dude. I don't, how I feel about, what the WFP is going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, aside, it's good to have competition. Competition pushes you to be better at what you do. I sell insurance for a living. I am glad that other people also do it, because otherwise I wouldn't have to work as hard. Like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. If there was no competition, then it just becomes, it then becomes a thing at that point. Same thing with competing on the floor. Same thing with even competing inside of a classroom. Look at Athena.
Cautiously optimistic. Good term. Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. The people that are, I'm out, whatever, and they haven't done anything, refusing to look at what they actually have done. Like, just turning a blind eye to it. Well, that's not enough. Well, just say you want Dave fired.
Dan Church, our dude, I'm looking forward to just seeing more fitness competitions.
He ain't gonna be seeing a whole lot out of one eye for the foreseeable future, because he missed a box jump the other day. He just sent me a picture a little while ago, and his face looks like he was in Fight Club.
Dan missed a box jump and hit his face?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've missed box jumps and wrecked my legs.
He messaged me when I put the thumbnail up. He messaged me, he's like, what time? I think I can make it today. And I told him, and he said, y'all should talk about me missing my box jump. Because I said, we have no plan, FYI. We're just going on there and just going to talk. And he said, y'all should talk about the box jump that I missed. And he sent me a picture. Like, I had an accident. I tipped a soft plyo box and smashed my face. Yeah.
Great. I never realized you had an accident. Love it.
I think she means accent.
Yeah. The Raging Cajun.
One and only. One and only. Anyway, I will say this.
I do want to reference this. I think people need to see changes happen, not just that they put all these things in place. They aren't blind. I completely agree. That is the cautious part of
That's the cautious part of being optimistic. Yeah. 100%.
I want to see what happens next.
Yeah. But if you're not sticking around to do that, then what's the point?
So, I wanted to talk about some fun stuff. I didn't want to just get into like a negative dive today. That really wasn't what today's plan was. We had no plan. We're just,
and it's real easy to get me riled up and start ranting about that. So yeah,
we are both signed up for the open. Well, I'm going to sign up today. We are both going to be signed up for the open by tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
The announcement is tomorrow. And I wanted to like just give the listeners a treat. I've said many times, my first ever open workout was 13.1. Yep. I misquoted what 13.1. I told you I cannot remember the stupid names or what the workouts were for the numbers. I can't get them correlated. But 13.1, I thought, was the 150 wall balls, 90 double unders into the 15 muscle ups. I was wrong. That is 13.3.
Oh.
What I think it is, or what I know it is now, because I've looked it up, is it was the burpees and the snatches, burpees to target. And I think it was 50 burpees to a target, 15 snatches, 40 burpees to a target, 15 snatches, something like that. The numbers I'm probably off, but I actually found the video of my first ever CrossFit open workout, and the neon is bright, so you may need some sunglasses, but I'm going to share my first ever open workout submission video.
I am here for it.
And just so you know, the nickname at my old gym was Thor. Everybody called me Thor.
I can see that.
Thus the shirt. But here we go. I will share my screen, and for your viewing entertainment.
Look at that baby face.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Ready?
2, 1, go.
My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm in Region Central East doing workout WOD 13.1.
Full shot.
Nike Freeze as my CrossFit shoe.
Love it.
So unstable.
Good.
Tape on the bar.
Tall socks, neon green.
15s on the bar, 45-pound bar.
Yeah, we shared a volleyball, a gym with a volleyball center. We had to bring in
45,
plywood to lift on.
45, 35.
I don't even know why we
2
did all
1/2.
these weights. I wasn't getting anywhere near there. You can see the piece of plywood. We had to bring it from outside to set up on.
Dude, I love the compression socks and the compression.
Touch that button when you're ready to go.
Yeah, just for the music.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this was very early on in my my CrossFit career.
You know how I can tell? You are smashing, you just threw a brick on the gas pedal and just let's go. I'm doing burpees.
Well, and burpees on that turf sucked.
Oh, I imagine.
I will tell you that my knees were so scratched and by the end of this. But you have to remember, I started CrossFit over 500 pounds. So at this point, I am just trying to survive. I can't believe my friends talked me into doing the open. And then when I did it, it was like the greatest experience ever. But I thought that would be fun to share.
Dude, that's
I'll
so
fast
awesome.
forward a little bit to a snatch because it was ugly. My mobility was so bad at this point.
Here we go.
My shoulder mobility was pathetic. Look how far out in front that bar is.
I mean, I've seen worse, Scott. I've I've seen worse. Hell, I've done worse.
Thankfully, it got a lot better.
This is amazing.
So, but I thought I'd share that little fun.
I'll tell you what, I wish I had video of my first one. It was 19.1, which was the wall balls and rowing. Like 19 calories, 19 wall balls for however long it was. I don't know, it felt like 3 hours. And halfway through, maybe 3/4 of the way through, I got tunnel vision completely. The only person I could hear was Sarah, who's one of our coaches, one of the owners of the place, counting my reps, and my buddy Robbie, who was screaming at me to keep pumping me up to keep going and whatnot. I couldn't hear anything else. And when Cecil said time, I fell off the rower with one foot still strapped in, and I was just laying there. And I really, really wish there was video of that, because I imagine it's probably hilarious to watch now.
That was a fun. So just the night before we did this workout, none of my friends had hit 100. None of me nor my friends had hit 135-pound snatch at this point.
Right.
And that was the next bar after what you saw there. That was 95, jumped to 135. So the night before, we are just taking swings and attempts at hitting a 135 snatch, so that if we get there the next day, we might have a shot. And the next day, my two buddies both hit their first ever 135 snatches. Now, one of them was like a snatch press, where he barely got it overhead and then pressed it out.
Hey, bro, it's CrossFit. It's not a Olympic lifting competition.
But the place went nuts.
Oh, I would imagine.
And then my favorite ever workout was an increasing barbell of deadlifts and box step ups. And I hit deadlifts I had never hit before. I was just like on fire. Like that day you were in the zone, and I had done things I hadn't done before, and the entire gym like jumped on me when the workout was over.
I love stuff like that, dude. I love stuff like that. That's what gets me hyped up. I love.
And by that point, we were out of that little gym, and we had moved to like our own space.
Yeah, nobody playing volleyball in the background.
Yeah, and doing it on rubber mats instead of plywood on turf.
Ooh, turf's rough, dude. Oh my word.
D. Reed says snatch press is legal in CrossFit. It sure is.
Counts in CrossFit.
Took every bit of that.
Counts in CrossFit. I snatched 190 pounds at a local competition 2 years ago, and it landed on my head, and I pressed it out, and it stood up. And I was like, said that was ugly as shit, but it counts.
Dan Church, my first open was 2011, 11.1, 10-minute AMRAP, a 30 double unders, 15 power snatches at 75. Buried me. They brought that back in 14 or 15. I had to do it like 4 times until my double unders turned on.
That's gross. Like, that hurts because there's nowhere to hide. Like, you're going from one aerobic thing to another aerobic thing and just steady, like, that's a heart rate. Oh my word. No.
And then they put it in a team workout when they did the team series. And it was one partner did one set of this, the 30 double unders, 15 power, and then you switched back and forth.
That's going to be worse because then
I vomited all over the back of our gym. We did it outside, thank God.
Yeah.
We pulled like rubber mats out into the parking lot, did it out in the parking lot. Thank God, because I lost everything everywhere.
I can see, especially doing it like talking about, because I always tell people whenever we have like a partner workout that I'm coaching or a team to 3 or something like that, is like, yes, you are going to get rest. It's not necessarily going to be what you want, because when you go to pick up the barbell, now you're either going to have 1 or 2 people just sitting there staring at you the entire time, waiting for you to go. So We got our 5 a.m. crew is famous for that. They'll look at something on the board and like, oh, I'm not doing all of that because they've been here since Jesus was a baby. And they'll turn something into a partner workout, which is going to change the stimulus completely. But instead of just going at a steady pace, like now it's becoming sprint intervals, like who can finish faster so that the other person gets to go and whatnot. I'm like, y'all are absolutely insane. Instead of doing this 15-minute AMRAP, y'all just turn this into a 15-minute partner workout. That's all sprint intervals. Like y'all, that's wild to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan Church is coming into town this weekend for the Arnold. Yeah, that's starting up this weekend.
Oh,
Columbus will be the mecca of fitness for a few days.
that's always fun to watch.
I think Kat's coming out for that with her son. I know Thick Boy's usually there. So yeah, that'll be big time. And the rumor is that Thor Bjornsson is going for the record on the deadlift this weekend at the Arnold.
That comes up on my Facebook memories every now and again because I had shared it whenever he did it. The last time was like 1,100 pounds or some crazy shit like that. And every time it comes up, I throw up in my mouth a little bit. Like I can't fathom that.
Yeah,
I can't fathom that.
When they pull out the elephant bar at the Arnold, it is a sight to see. The way that thing bends.
Yeah.
So I don't know if so basically like strongman is usually done on Saturday, and then Sunday they just line up like world record attempt after world record attempt and go all day on Sunday with that stuff. So
Right.
I don't know if that's the plan, to do it on Sunday in that string of things, or to do it within the competition. Because an elephant bar would not be where you're going to break that record.
No, it's got too much flex. Like I don't think you can load it up. You can load it up right. I'm with Jody. I would love to go to that just to go see. Like that's got to be some crazy shit to watch.
It's so living here in Columbus would care less if I ever won again.
Too many people.
So I used to work security for it back before I did this media thing. And I escorted the bodybuilders from the dressing room to the stage. There's so many people. It's like herding cats because the bodybuilders are so dehydrated. They have no idea where they're at. You're trying to get them to a place and there is just literally wall to wall people. And if any of if Arnold shows up and he walks out, like they shut down everything for him.
Well, yeah, because he's got to get mobbed, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and he has like 8 massive men around him at all times, and they shut down aisles, and but it is, if you can get to an event and get a seat or even like a standing room part there, it's fun while you are there.
Right.
So, but it is really, and if you want to see vendors, like there are more vendors at this thing, it is probably 10 times the size of the games vendor village. It is
just whatever you can think of.
Every supplement under the sun, every girl in a bikini, every belts, grip, protein cookie, you name it, it's there. And then Rogue has a big booth right in the center, and usually they bring in like their athletes to sign autographs and take pictures and all that stuff. And I think Sprague is going to be here, and so is Medeiros for sure.
James.
Usually they put the schedule out at some point, probably tomorrow or Friday. And then they usually Rich comes.
Well, he's not that far from there, right?
Cookville's a good 7 hours probably.
Oh shit. No, okay, that is far.
But yeah.
Well, he's gonna be I guess that's tomorrow, that's not Friday.
Dan Bailey's always a throw in because he lives here in town. So, but yeah, it's a fun event to do once or twice. But the coolest thing I ever did in my life is the one year they partnered with the WWE. Ric Flair comes out of the back to do his woo, right? Steps right in front of me as I'm trying to get the bodybuilders to the stage, and I have to hip check Ric Flair.
I would tell people that story all the time, Scott. Like I said, if for whatever reason Ric Flair just comes up in conversation, I'd be like, "Yeah, I hip checked him one time. I had to get him out the way. He was being disruptive while I was trying to do my job." That's fantastic, by the way.
Dan Bailey has not lived on a boat since like 2015.
Since y'all saw him on that documentary, he pretty much has not lived on a boat since then.
Yeah, he actually lives here in a little suburb called Westerville, has a farm with a barn, has rebuilt the barn to make it a gym, and now he's married to No Pants with Chance and has twin babies.
I haven't even seen anything on from Dan Bailey, like from his Instagram. I don't even know how long. Like I used to get like his stuff used to pop up pretty regularly, but
so he's always done the open at Polaris with Christy and Patrick and all those guys. So I would see him every open season coming in there to do that. And then if other people would come into town for the Arnold, a lot of them would come up and do the open. So I've been at Polaris when like Medeiros has been there, Sam Briggs. I think I've told the Sam Briggs story a couple times where she yelled at me because I wasn't picking up the bar.
Yeah.
And that was very, very intimidating.
That speaks to the kind of person that she is, though, right? Like she's watching the open go by. She sees some dude like struggling, not picking up the bar, and she's just fucking fired up. And we're gonna get into it. I love that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and the cool thing was when it was all over, she came over and was like, "I hope you didn't mind me yelling at you." And I'm like, "No, I needed to pick up the bar. Like, I was making excuses in my head, and I didn't need to."
And oh yeah, Ken's right. That 100-pound Murph that Dan Bailey did like last year sometime.
Yeah, he's a big first form guy. So, well, this was fun, man. The 45 minutes flew.
Always, brother.
So glad you could be with us. Maybe we'll make this an every Wednesday thing.
You got my number, dude.
Shoot the shit with Cory.
Oh, you got my number. This is I told Jennifer this morning. This is my early coaching day. So I coach 5 a.m., 6 a.m. today. And then I usually sit in Normatec boots, do a little recovery before I come to work. I never sleep well the night before I early coach because like my body's on high alert. It's like I don't want to miss, right? I don't want to accidentally sleep through my alarm or anything like that. So I never sleep well. And this morning, Coach 5, Coach 6 sat down in the chair and fell asleep in the Normatec boots, sitting in the little office area like by myself. There wasn't anybody else there, and not for real long, but long enough to where when I came to, I went, "Oh my God, how long have I been here?"
I love those like deep nap sleeps where you wake up and you're like, is it day? Is it night? Is it morning?
I have no idea. It could have been noon. It could have been 3:00 in the afternoon. It only been like 20 minutes, but like to the point where I woke up and then like, I'm probably late for work. I wasn't, but it was terrifying. Oh.
So Kenneth says, and I'll pull this up in a second. What kind of lunch we having with the Clydesdale on Wednesday? Cajun lunch.
Best food on the planet, son. Right down here.
It really is. It really, really is.
Oh, here we go, Charlie.
Uh-oh. Now he wants a little Cajun on Wednesdays too. He can jump on. He knows he has the button.
He has the button. He's got my phone number, for Christ's sake. He called me.
It's funny because I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan. I watch like Kitchen Nightmares religiously. And he did a whole series in New Orleans before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And my favorite food is New Orleans. Like I love gumbo and I love jambalaya and I love all that stuff, right? And he was fixing these people's dishes on all that stuff. And my mouth is just like, ugh. Kenneth, oh yes, the rivalry is renewed. Cory versus Charlie 2025.
Tell you right now, Kenneth, Charlie don't want none.
Love you too, Herd Athletics. Are those glasses real, and have you climbed those mountains?
The glasses are definitely real. So my office is in the middle of the building, like quite literally. I don't have any windows in here. It's basically like being in a closet. And so my wife, where is it at, got me this, and it's just a big sticker. It's a decal that because I was complaining about not having a window, and so she didn't even tell me she was getting it. It just showed up at the office one day, and like one of the girl that's in the front, Gina, came back here and she's like, "Hey, something came for you," and I was like, because I do order stuff and like get it shipped here because I know, especially if it's like I got my new jump rope shipped here, I'll get shoes shipped here. So I can just get it from here, go straight to the gym afterwards. But I wasn't expecting anything, so I was like, something came for me, and I opened it up, and I thought my boss gave it. I thought Todd got it for me, and I was laughing uncontrollably, and so stuck it up. As you can see, it's nice and crooked.
That's good. It is
because I just eyeballed it the best I could, and then once I saw it was crooked, I'm like, well, I'm not taking it down and putting it back up. But yeah, that's my window. FYI, there are no mountains in South Louisiana.
Yeah. Justin Wilson is the best Cajun chef ever. I will go with that. Jay Birch, watched him a ton when I was a kid. And Dan Church always has Cory's back. No competition. Cory is games bound this year. Dude, if you make the games, the party we're going to have at my house here in Columbus is going to be so huge.
It's not if, Scott, it's when.
I can't believe I still am pinching myself that the Masters Games is here in Columbus.
That's amazing.
Like
for you, like considering like that's your,
and I can cover it and sleep in my own bed and not pay for airfare is so
airfare, Airbnb, like extra food, all that shit. Like, no, I'm just at the end of the day, I'm going home.
The biggest expense maybe is either parking or Uber, whichever I decide to do.
Right. Pretty sure we can write that one off.
Charlie says, whoa.
You signed up, Otay?
Charlie, let's see what you got.
Signed up, Otay? Get you some, bro. First workout drops 2 p.m. tomorrow.
At 3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Pacific. Yes. All the listeners are invited to the party.
You'll be able to if when that leaderboard gets finalized and my name's on it in that top, whatever they take in that and whatever that year, you'll be able to hear me yell from your house. Believe what I tell you.
Man, that would be freaking awesome. Well, guys, we have run late and our bosses are going to be pissed. So, hey, hooligans, get back to work. We'll see you next time on Lunch with the Clydesdale.
Later.